Good evening. Interest rates could begin to rise as we move into 2016, ending a long period of record low rates. Mark Carney, the Governor of the Bank of England, said tonight that he expected the bank rate to increase slowly over the next few years, rising eventually to around 2.5%. But he warned that shocks to the economy and changes in the exchange rate could affect that timing. Our economics editor, Robert Peston, has more details.
For our finances, mortgages, the value of our houses, not a lot matters more than interest rates. And tonight, in this unlikely setting, glorious Lincoln Cathedral, the Governor of the Bank of England went further than he's ever done in guiding that interest rates are going up, perhaps in December or January.
In my view, the decision as to when to start such a process will likely come into sharper relief around the turn of this year.
But if you have big debts and you're breaking into a cold sweat, he said don't panic. Though if you're a saver, you won't like this.
It would not seem unreasonable to me to expect that once monetary policy normalization begins, interest rates would proceed slowly and rise to a level in the medium term that's perhaps about half as high as historic averages.
So if we go back to the 1970s, the Bank of England's interest rate, which in those days was set by the Chancellor, was frequently in double digits, peaking at around 17%. Now, since the 1990s, the rate has been on a steadily declining path, especially after the Bank of England was given complete control of the rate in 1997. Then in 2009, at the height of the worst recession since the 30s, the interest rate was cut to its lowest level in more than 300 years, 0.5%. And it's been stuck there. It's because the Governor thinks inflation, the cost of living, will start to rise again in a few months that he's warning us to expect an initial rise in interest rates of perhaps 0.25% and then further rises over 2 or 3 years to just over 2%. At some point, interest rates will go up again. Would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
Personally, it wouldn't be a great thing for me because I have a rather large mortgage, but I guess for the country, we'd need to see some modest rises in the near future.
I'd be happy that my savings are getting more interest.
We've organised our lives based on the interest rate being so low for so long that for it to jump up would be a difficult thing for our personal lives. However, we understand from an economic perspective that it's going to have to go up.
So drowning our sorrows or toasting better times?